What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat. What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands is on me. Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Twitter for our WWE Crown Jewel 2022 Roundtable review. We're going to be breaking down all the action from yesterday in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I am here with the three-time baby-making champion, co-host of NX3 and Blunt Impact. This is Ness.
Good morning, good brother. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. Glad you are here with me, joining me after being on the watch along yesterday. Happy that we already got comments in the live chat from one particular person, it seems like. But yeah, it's a good day though. It's a good Sunday. How you doing today?
I'm doing mighty fine. I was ready for this to get underway, just like some of the people in our comment section already. So yeah, let's get into it, man.
Let's get to it. We want to thank you all for joining us. Remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Of course, if you were with us yesterday, thank you for joining us for the watch along. You could check out some of that over on demand right now. And if you're watching us on demand for this review, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about WWE Crown Jewel 2022. But if you are with us live, let us know in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen is with a super chat donation. Do not go outside your means. Only if you're generous, you have a little bit to give back to us with what we do. We appreciate it, and it goes to all the contributors here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We got Brett Thomas here with us already. I think he made this comment at like 7 a.m. Eastern time on this review. He says, I will admit I made a mistake, and Logan Paul's time was not last night. However, I stand by the fact he will definitely main event night one Mania. I hope that more WWE fans and wrestling fans in general, and then he went on to say, put more respect in Logan Paul's name as a wrestling star, not a pretend one like Kenny or Seth. Logan can carry himself way stronger than both of them, who just show up and play being a star. No comment, Ness?
It's too early for that shit. It's just, I'll admit, I'm not a fan of the Paul brothers just because of their personalities, but bias aside, the dude can wrestle. Like it's there. He has a star power. Now, I'm not going to jump off the deep end like our good friend Brett Thomas here, thinking that he was going to beat the tribal chief of all people. But I can see Logan having a I don't know about main eventing, but I can see him having a major profile match at Mania.
Yeah. I mean, if he wasn't going to do that already, after his performance yesterday, he probably is going to have a top of the line, like high profile match at this year's WrestleMania. Santos here with us saying, I am here 4 minutes to hear the best podcast crew in the IWC. We appreciate that, Santos, your support. We always appreciate. G Loke says, what it do, top of the morning. So much to discuss. That is for sure with this pay-per-view. Vala B with a difference of opinion saying, did you say Crown Jewel? I'll take it. I did fall asleep. So not everybody was a fan of what we saw last night. I don't know if you have a difference of opinion or there's some stuff that you didn't like. Let us know in the live chat as we're gonna discuss it. But like with this roundtable reviews, Ness, we sometimes like to go out of order and talk about the biggest story coming out of Crown Jewel. And funny enough, it was the main event. The main event was the biggest story, the biggest talking point coming out of the show because of how it turned out and because of the aftermath as well. So let's get right into it. It was Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Logan Paul. The build up to this was all about Logan Paul saying that he had to hit that one lucky punch against Roman Reigns and he had a chance to win. And that became the story of the matchup because of Roman Reigns' side to this, where he was very overconfident and even cocky heading into this. So he was very cocky early on, smiling at Logan Paul, not taking him seriously. He grounds him. Logan Paul using his speed, his athleticism early on, but Roman eventually grounds him. He's talking trash. He was like, no YouTuber could come into my world. He was talking his infamous trash that we all love from Roman Reigns. But I'll be honest with you, other than the first couple of minutes of this match, this was all Logan Paul. This was the Logan Paul show. He dominated, pulling out a buckshot lariat that is even better than CM Punk's. Not saying much, but it's on the level of Hangman Adam Page. He hit it so smooth. His athleticism on display, getting high into the air. Roman would cut him off from time to time, but Logan just, continuously was on him with offense. His leapfrogs were amazing in this matchup. And then, of course, the highlight of this whole entire encounter, they fight to the floor. Logan Paul is pretty much dominating Roman Reigns at this point. He places him on the announce table. He says hello to his podcast co-host in the front row who hand him a cell phone. He goes up to the top rope, stands on the ring post, and delivers what has been coined, Ness, the 5-star frog splash. 5-star frog splash. That was insane. It's up on his Instagram, the video that he took, but just watching it from WWE's cameras was even insane. A tremendous spot, the old Shane McMahon spot, but just even more crazier because most people do the elbow. You do the elbow because you want to extend, and even if you miss them, you can at least hit a hand or something. It'll look effective. This man did a splash, a changing direction splash in mid-air on Roman Reigns. It was quite impressive. A whole bunch of carnage after that. This led to the Usos coming down. They jump Logan Paul's podcast host. They look like they're clearing house, and out comes none other than Logan Paul's brother, Jake Paul, and he delivers some of the worst worked punches ever. This proves this man is a boxer because only boxers who can really knock somebody out would throw a work punch that horribly. So yeah, I will say he is legitimate. His wins are not fixed. His work punches are horrible. That shows he's a boxer. So Solo Sikoa comes out. He has a stare down with Jake Paul, but security comes in between them. The Usos are up at this point. Logan Paul takes them out with a dive to the outside, but then he gets in the ring and he gets a Superman punch and a spear from Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And my Lord, Roman Reigns' sell job after the match even sold me even more on this match. This man is fixing his jaw after the match after taking the one lucky punch from Logan Paul. He took the one lucky punch and then he took a Superman punch from Logan Paul during the match. He's like trying to fix his jaw, selling it afterwards. He's looking at his championships, so happy that he still has them. Paul Heyman is like, we praise your glory. We're here for your glory, Tribal Chief. You could say Paul Heyman sold this so well. This put over Logan Paul so well in the aftermath, as well as him and Jake Paul recovered in the ring after the match. And he got a huge response from the Saudi Arabia fans. They totally treated him like a babyface, even though in the lead up to this match, of course, the fans were booing him. He totally won over the fans of Saudi Arabia around the world. So Ness, before we get into the aftermath with Logan Paul being injured in this matchup, let's talk about the match itself. Logan Paul's performance. What did you think? And what did you think about the match overall?
Match overall, I gave it a 4.25, 4.25, 4.5. Also, I'd probably just stay with 4.25. It was, I don't want to say it's better than I expected because I actually expected this to be a good match. You know, we see that Logan has it to perform in the wrestling ring. We've seen it in his only 2 matches that he has, and now being in there with an elite talent such as Roman Reigns, it was only going to be that much better. The storyline surrounding it, the one lucky punch. If he can get that off, he's going to win. He didn't get it off to Roman, but he knocked out both the Usos. And I do want to see Solo versus Jake now, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I want to see the Pauls versus the Usos.
That's a match that I
can
see, or I would like to see happen in Mania. We can definitely have that happen. Yeah, it was just so good. Like at certain times all night, I'm just like, oh, when's the main event? Because I knew it was just going to be a banger, and that's exactly what it was. And I'm glad that there was some shenanigans, but it was like placed well, and it wasn't too much. They didn't overbook it, because that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. It was going to be the friends are going to come help out, even though they just pretty much got their asses kicked by the Usos. I thought the Usos would be out there for pretty much like the whole match. They only had like a couple minutes out there. So like you said, Logan led the whole match for the most part. Roman pretty much just let him do what he wanted to do. Worked under being the even though he's the heel, but kind of got beat up for the most part of it as a baby face. But yeah, this match was great. It did exactly what I expected it to do. And props to Logan, man. I know a lot of people don't like him as far as personality, all that aside. Like, you can't deny that he has what it takes to be a WWE performer, WWE superstar. He has already the notoriety, the publicity, the superstardom surrounding him, and now he's just going out there continuously showing that he has the athleticism, he has the talent, being trained by the HBK, one of the GOATs. I said this on the stream yesterday. This was the HBK versus The Rock match that we never got, and that pretty much sold it. It sold it. I'm sold on him. I was already sold, but that did even a better job.
Yeah, like literally through this match, Brian Alvarez said it on Wrestling Observer Radio, but Logan Paul definitely is a guy that never heard a move he didn't want to do. He's doing leapfrogs. He's doing the Shawn Michaels flying forearm. He's doing the kip up at just the right time. He sold it just enough before the kip up. He's doing the tuning up the band. He hits the one lucky punch so good on Roman Reigns, and then the Superman punch was just as good. So yeah, he was amazing in this match. If this was a guy that had like 15, even 20 matches a year, I would definitely say that he's like rookie of the year, and he's a guy that in WWE, especially with his age, only 27 years old, he could potentially be the next undisputed WWE Universal Champion. He's that good. I wouldn't go as far as I see Nick Jackson here. He says Logan Paul definitely the rookie of the year. I think if you say definitely, that means that you're forgetting that this year also includes someone like Braun Breaker, a 2-time NXT champion. It also includes Hook, my man Hook. You out here disrespecting Hook, saying that it's a blowout? Get the hell out of here. But no. Logan Paul, hell of a performance. I thought that after, WrestleMania and SummerSlam, I was like, oh man, this celebrity levels, he's like on the level of some like the best celebrities that we've seen who just naturally get it. Maybe, a Stephen Amell or, a Bad Bunny. So many celebrities we've seen, especially in the last couple of years, that really just, are fans of it and really grabs onto it. Logan Paul's it's head and shoulders above the rest. He is the GOAT celebrity to cross over into professional wrestling. I'll go as far as saying that. I won't go as far as saying rookie of the year for sure, but he's definitely in the discussion after his performance, especially here against Roman Reigns. In your third match, I don't think I've ever seen anyone that good in their third match.
Nah, I really can't think off the top of my head. Even legends at that, like guys that are synonymous with professional wrestling for all the decades that they've been around and stuff like that. But coming just to see him come out of nowhere, as far as just getting these random matches and teaming with the Miz and stuff like that, doing tag matches because he's in those type of matches, so he doesn't hurt himself, doesn't work as much. Going from that, just going into your singles matches, and it's just like, wow, all right, you got it now. There's no denying. There's no denying. You just got to be a hater, straight up hater. That's it. At the end of the day.
Yeah. I think that's the misconception. I think people are saying they think Logan Paul gets booed in certain places in WWE, especially because he's an outsider coming in. I don't even think it's about that anymore, because you've seen how they treated Bad Bunny after one good performance. He was kind of universally accepted when he was first talked about being in. He was like, "Who's Bad Bunny?" Grammy Award winning Bad Bunny. Then he has one good performance. They accept him. I don't think they accepted Logan Paul after his 2 good performances at WrestleMania and SummerSlam because of who he is. Yeah. It's more about who he is than him being an outsider in wrestling.
Right. I agree with that.
We got a super chat donation here, and that's from Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B, for that. He says, Logan keeps showing that he's great. Hope the injury is kayfabe. Also, until the Sammy's bloodline storyline is over, I only refer to SP3 as my dog. Respect my dog. Respect. Respect my dog. Respect. We also got Richie Moon, who says, fun match. Wish he didn't get injured, but like the old saying goes, it ain't ballerina. It ain't ballerina. Yeah, it ain't. it ain't that. That's for sure. And I feel for him, and especially because it says that he injured it midway through the matchup and still continued. And I wonder if the injury happened before the 5-star vlogs match. That makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, me personally, I think it might have been on the Buckshot Lariat when he did the flip.
Everyone gets hurt, it seems.
It's just, I mean, as great as it was, just leave it to Hangman, man. He knows how to do it precisely, so he doesn't injure himself.
Exactly. I saw people going as far as to say that it was better than Hangman's. That's just disrespectful. Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild with y'all praise. Y'all go too far to the left, and y'all start going into hyperbole. That's a little too much in my estimation. I don't know about you, Ness.
No, I wouldn't say it was better. The flip was nice, but the flip might have been better, but the whole thing as a whole, now that was some of the people I was on the stream with yesterday, like Romeo, but he's a troll.
Of course, yeah. we don't take Romeo seriously, especially when he says things like that, and he's criticizing AEW. He's always willing to do that. John Elite says Logan's hella better than Punk's. Yeah, by far. That's by far. That's not a question. That's not a question at all. And CM says ballet is more dangerous, to be honest. So she does have a point too. And Richie Moon says finish the match with a torn MCL, torn meniscus, and torn ACL, according to his Instagram live on Ness. Logan Paul talking about his injury. Do you think that it's a work? Do you think that it's a shoot? I think that I don't know if it's that serious. I don't know if it's all of those things, but I do probably think that, with how he put his body on the line in this match, I wouldn't be surprised if he was injured.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was injured, but it's like, where do you go from here right after that? And like wrestling fans, we think everything's a work. So my inner wrestling fans coming out, I'm just going to say, I think it's a quote unquote work. Just for him to take some time to rest up, obviously, because he went through hell going in there with Roman and all the things that he did. Now maybe they can try to find build up this storyline even more. Maybe now the Usos will have to deal with the Paul brothers, anything of that nature. because the way he finished, like went through the whole match, he didn't seem injured at all. I had no idea that he was injured until I seen it on social media that, it's like, oh, you had the meniscus tear and MCL and stuff like that. I'm like, are you serious? The way that this guy just went through this whole match, it didn't seem like anything was wrong with him. That's where the whole work thing comes from. But I'm hoping that, if he is actually injured, he gets a speedy recovery. That's not going to be a quick recovery though.
No,
so
no.
that's gonna
at least 6
damper.
months.
Yeah, that puts a little damper on our Mania dreams. But hopefully, I'm hoping that it's just a work, and that's just a way to write him off of television for right now, and maybe like around a Rumble or something. By the grace of God, he's just super recovery out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, I really think Romeo has superpowers or something like that. See, episodes I really thought Romeo had manifested Charlotte's return. No, he's been wishing for it and hoping for it since Money in the Bank, pretty much.
Yeah,
like
for months. If it was him, if it was up to him, she would have came. She would have been back. She definitely would have came back yesterday.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely. I understand. We also got a couple of people in the comments. Sound off. Let us know what you thought about Logan Paul's performance. Let us know what you think about him as Rookie of the Year. He's definitely WWE Rookie of the Year. I'll put him ahead of even Braun Breaker. Even though I think Braun Breaker has the it factor, he's been very impressive. I didn't think Braun Breaker was a main eventer after his third match I saw him.
Yeah,
and I do.
We were still waiting him to get a little better around that time.
Yeah, he was not good in his first match against Eli Drake. I remember that. But yeah, keep those comments coming. Your super chat donations, of course, is the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen. Will touch back on Logan Paul and Roman Reigns as much as you guys want us to. But let's go to the beginning of the show, Ness, as they started the show with Titus O'Neil narrating the intro, saying this is the countdown to Impossible. The idea is tied into Logan Paul needing to hit that one lucky shot to beat Roman Reigns and stuff. So I thought it was a pretty good intro to the show, and I thought it was a nice touch having Titus O'Neil there for a show that typically is not the best image. You got the person with the best image in WWE doing the narration.
That's a good point, because we all know that this, what we call it, Saudi blood money. So just the name itself, just shows it's like, it might not sit well with everybody.
So let's put our nice Negro out there. Have them dance.
Not gonna lie, that's what I was thinking.
Have them talk to the people about this being in and it's the road to impossible. We're bringing us together, the U.S. and Saudi, through WWE. I sound believable, right?
Yeah, because that's what they want. They want them to say, "Oh yeah, they're eating it up. Oh, they're eating it up, brother. They love this. Oh, yeah,
they love it. They love it. They're loving each and every minute of it." But let's get into the opening matchup. They kind of open and close with their two biggest matchups, because they open the show next with Brock Lesnar going one-on-one with Bobby Lashley after his comeback a few weeks ago, costing Bobby Lashley the U.S. title. And what we got was the prototypical Brock Lesnar type matchup. Before the bell even rang, Lashley attacked Lesnar on the outside of the ring, attacking his knee, then hit him with a series of spears, one spear on the floor, one spear through the barricade, and then another spear, actually two more in the ring to get a near fall back. He went for the hurt lock, but Brock was able to reverse into Suplex City, hitting a series of German suplexes. Brock set up for the F5 and he hits it, but he only gets a near fall. Bobby Lashley soon takes control, though. He poses Lesnar with his usual fireman's carry into the ring post. Then he hits a big spine buster. He stalks him and he looks for the hurt lock. Lesnar reverses and he tries for the F5, but Lashley reverses right back into that hurt lock. It looks like Lesnar cannot escape, so he pushes off the turnbuckle, as I like to call it, the old Roddy Piper, Bret the Hitman Hart WrestleMania 8 finish, and falls on top of Lashley, who still has the hurt lock in play, and they count 1, 2, 3, and Brock Lesnar defeats Bobby Lashley in just under 6 minutes. After the match, Bobby Lashley is not pleased at all, having dominated the matchup, and Lesnar just winning by a small reversal, or Lashley not paying attention, pretty much. And Lashley puts back on the Hurt Lock onto Lesnar, who passes out from the pain. What did you think about this opening contest here?
Just like you said, it was the prototypical Brock Lesnar match. It's get in, get out there, get your shit in within like 4 to 6, 7 minute radius, somewhere around there. But it was exactly what I expected out of these two. I don't expect Brock to work like a monotonous amount of time anyway. I will say at first yesterday when I was watching it live, the finish, I wasn't a fan of it, but actually after realizing like what actually happened, one, it made Brock look desperate. It made Brock look human. I actually like that. That's a side of him that we never see. So he was really trying to get out of the Hurt Lock, had no way to get out of it, and pulled that move off with the to get the pin. Actually, we don't. I don't want to say this without trying to make fun of him. We know Brock is a beast. We don't think of Brock for his smarts, so to speak. So they're just like, instead of him just being this bumbling Neanderthal that can rip you in half, he actually had to think of a way to get this victory. So that's smart. On top of the fact, it keeps Lashley strong as well.
It does.
He took the pin, but it was like a desperation pin at that. And then even a beat down after the fact. That's like the only thing I don't know where they're going to go with this, because at one point, recently, Lashley was like one of the top baby faces of Raw. Like, is he still going to be a baby face? Maybe it's just like the setting that they were in. Everybody loves Brock over there. So, of course, they're not going to be happy that one of their favorite stars is getting beat up on. That's neither here nor there, though. I'll just wait to see how it plays out. But like the match, it's exactly what it was, exactly what I expected. I give it a 3. I give it 3.25. 3.25.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was what we were expecting as far as like the all thriller, no filler type of matchup that Brock Lesnar is kind of an expert in. I just wanted a little bit more, but then I realized with the post match and how the match ended that this is only part 2 of a trilogy. This is just to set up the trilogy, which I hope they blow off at WrestleMania, because the more that we can get Lashley making Lesnar look like this, he looked like this a couple of weeks ago on Raw when he beat him down after he cost him the US title, and then here just how Lashley's able to kind of look dominant, and he looks like he's elevated even though he took a loss here because of how much he dominated this matchup. Even though I will say that WWE, like we talked about 2 matches already, which have a theme for the night of the person who's losing dominating the person who's going to win. Because Logan Paul dominated Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns won. Lashley dominated Lesnar and then Lesnar won. So, and there will be another match on this card. That's exactly the same booking. But I didn't give my rating for Reigns and Paul. Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns, I gave 4.25 stars. I thought it was tremendous. This match, it was exactly what it needed to be, kind of being the chapter 2 of a 3-chapter story between Lashley and Lesnar. But you make a great point. It did put over Lashley with how dominant and how he made Lesnar not only look desperate, but look weak against what Lashley had to offer. And especially with the Hurt Lock, he was another person who couldn't escape the Hurt Lock. So it puts over that move as well.
Which is wild, because of all people, you would think that Brock Lesnar would be one of the folks that one of the extremely rare few that can get out of the Hurt Lock.
Yep. But nope, he was not able to, and he was just another victim for Bobby Lashley here. But moving on to the next matchup, but before the next matchup, we got an interview backstage with the champions going into the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup next, and we get Alexa Bliss and Asuka being interviewed by Byron Saxton, and out of nowhere on the screen behind them, the Bray Wyatt logo flashes, and Alexa Bliss makes a face. like she's being haunted or it's in her head. And she just talks about how they're going to successfully defend the women's tag team titles. Immediately, I was like, damn it, they're going to lose. I was immediately like, damn, they about to change these titles yet again. But let's talk about the matchup here, as it was Damage Control getting their rematch for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles against Alexa Bliss and Asuka. This was a pretty good matchup. I thought all four ladies work really well with each other, with the highlight, of course, being Asuka versus Io. Anytime they're in the ring together, it always comes off very well. The finish comes where Asuka and Io are fighting on the outside. Alexa Bliss goes to the top rope for Twisted Bliss. Out of nowhere comes Nikki Cross to take her down. She hits her finisher on Alexa Bliss, and Dakota Kai pins Alexa Bliss to regain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Damage Control, two-time Women's Tag Team Champions. This match just going under 13 minutes. Like I said, I thought these ladies worked well with each other. Solid match. I gave it also 3 stars for this one, but what was the point of the first title change? Like, what?
The WWE booking for you. Literally.
Oh,
what
did you think about this match and the title change?
I thought the match was solid. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. It just felt like a match that I would have saw on Monday Night Raw, something like that. It really didn't feel like a PLE type of match, but it was good. It was solid. I actually like the fact that Nikki Cross, because now so many things are going on with in my opinion, there's some things going on far as having the Bray Wyatt logo show up in the backstage interview. Everybody knows the history between Bray and Alexa, and then having Nikki Cross come out, interject herself in the match. Could that be maybe someone potentially aligning themselves with Bray in the future? Or is this something that Alexa's going to have to go through regarding if there's any connection to Bray to begin with, regardless? I just want to see where they go with that. But even when I heard this match was going to be happening, I said, oh, Damage Control is going to win, because there's no reason for them to drop the titles on Monday, to have a rematch on Saturday, for them not to get it. And I thought that was going to be the theme for both women's title matches. And I was, where was I wrong?
Nope. I've learned my lesson when it comes to that, but we'll get to that for sure. I got a question here that's off topic from Kayfabe Tactics, but I don't usually see them in the live chat, so I will answer. It says, can anyone else here see their previous videos on their YouTube channel? Newest video is from a month ago, and I've done a lot more since then, like recent New Japan show. Their videos are now separated by live, videos you upload, and shorts. So it's probably there. It's just under a different tab. It's just a weird YouTube update that I think sucks, but is what it is. We got John Elite, who's talking about this women's tag team title match, who says Kai and Sky should have just retained on Monday instead. Yeah. But I guess they wanted a title change for the Prince. He's like, I got nothing to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're progressing, instead of just one women's match on the show, we get 2.
Yeah,
which it's good with everything that is going on over there. But like you said, they could have just retained on Monday. You could have gave us, because this show was missing, in my opinion, was missing the drip god. It was missing a lot of Seth Rollins. He could have defended the United States Championship, but can't always get what you want. So
nope. Goodfella says, giving the Saudi crowd a title change, plus all main title holders have the belts for years. I don't mind this at all. I mean, as you to each his own. I just don't like the fact that the women's tag team titles were supposed to be brought back to add some legitimacy to them, and they just feel like a hot potato at this point. They had a 13-day title run for the first champions, a 48-day title run for the next champions, and now a 5-day run for your third champions. This is not a very good look as far as reestablishing these titles,
especially with the fact that 2 of your top stars are out because of how you're managing these titles. And now, under the new regime, everybody thought everything was going to be different, and it's still the same.
Great purveyor of tag team and women's wrestling, Triple H is doing so well by those divisions, so well. I mean, the women are getting featured more, so that's a good thing. But Damage Control is booking his pet project. It thought we would think after they debuted on the first major show he did, SummerSlam, he hasn't done good by them at all. We do have a super chat donation here, Ness, from Vala B. Once again, thank you so much, Vala B. We always appreciate that, man. Saying Hunter inherited a lot of Vince's problems, but the women's tag division was one of the easiest to fix. Man, if Sasha and Naomi are coming back, ... It's true. It's true. Like you had a chance to kind of prove to them before they come back that you're going to treat the women's tag team division differently, and you haven't. You haven't at all. And I'm just saying, like I said, you had a 13-day reign, a 48-day reign, a 5-day reign. Why couldn't all this just be a 70-day plus reign for Damage Control? Like, it's just very simple. What you could have done. You just have Damage Control, win the tournament, hold the titles. Bailey can do what she was doing, but at least Damage Control still had the tag team titles.
Yeah.
But hey, easiest thing that he could have done: book this group properly. Like, no, we're not gonna do that.
Nah.
Carrion says this is why nobody take Damage Control seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and it's crazy because usually when quote unquote newer act, or they come on the main roster, they go on a little while undefeated, or if they do lose a match, it's like shenanigans. They're at least kept looking strong. Not with Damage Control. Like they're like, oh no, you guys. I think they lost. I may be wrong. Didn't they lose in like their first match, or like their first tag match together?
No. They won their first tag match. I know they lost a bunch of singles matches. They lost to Leah and Raquel, and so it's not good.
That's not good. No, not at all.
We got Goodfella who says, I love Dakota and EO, but you can see a majority of live crowds not reacting to them. Got to do some things against the norm to get people more invested, in my opinion. I agree. I 100% agree. And Bell bringing up a good point here that was pointed out by Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter. He said, hey guys, Bell says, hey guys, did anyone notice Sasha and Naomi is back in the WWE intro? And who said they coming back together? I mean, Naomi could go to SmackDown and join Bloodline for all we know. They could do that, of course, and I did notice that they were back in the WWE intro, but Sean Ross Sapp reached out to WWE, and WWE claimed they just used the wrong intro. So
yeah, right.
If
we
you
don't
believe
that.
If you believe that.
Exactly.
If you believe that. We also got Antoine Phillips who says, at War Games, if Bailey gets pinned, Io and Dakota jumps her, and that brings Sasha out since it's in Boston. Hey, I would love that. Do a Damage Control versus Bailey and Sasha. Just cut bait and just take Bailey out the group she created.
You've seen that. They did that with Judgment Day.
Exactly. She plays the role of Edge. There you go. Frantic World says, I saw Sasha Banks talking about WWE, but if she comes back and the booking is the same, what will she do next? Probably in 3 years, she'll walk out again because she did this in 2019.
Exactly. That's pretty much. If nothing's going to if nothing's changing, I wouldn't come back to begin with. I know there's a bunch of legal things going on with that, whatever with that. So she can't just up and wrestle anywhere else, which I understand that. But if you left because the things weren't going the way that you liked, or the way that you didn't see it happening for you, just to come back and nothing's changed, what was the point of coming back? You might as well just stay away, stay out.
It's true. Romeo says, yeah, like we used the wrong intro on here, right? BS. Hey, I've seen Ness use the True Hill Heat background for Blunt Impact.
Yeah,
I've seen Stat King use it for Dark Power. So it happens. Just saying.
I smoke a lot, so that's my WWE. I think they have a wellness policy.
He's like, I don't think they're smoking blunts while they're not doing this while they press the buttons like me though. That's hilarious. Kervin says, I take the Impact Wrestling Women's Tag Team division over WWE lack of a tag division. I'd take anybody's tag team division over WWE. Like I said, Triple H, this great purveyor of tag team and women's wrestling. If it wasn't for the Usos being the tag team champions and the Brawling Brutes getting over, we would be talking about how the men's division he hasn't done much with either. But we will get into that from this show. But let's get into the next matchup on the card from WWE Crown Jewel. It was Carrion Cross going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre inside of a 15-foot high steel cage. Carrion Cross had a cool little entrance coming out with a Scarlet and the hourglass logo in the sky. I did love the drone technology for the entrances. It added a nice little touch and made this feel like a big-time stadium show, which it is. This was a lot. I felt was as hard hitting as their match at Extreme Rules, but just it felt more physically intense than their match at Extreme Rules did. I thought that this was a little bit better. Scarlett, of course, getting involved. She used the spray to spray Drew McIntyre in the face, but it didn't help much. Eventually, Drew is able to hit the Claymore on Karrion Kross. He goes to walk out the steel cage, but Scarlett basically padlocks the door lock after taking out the referee with the pepper spray. She locks the door so Drew can't walk out. So Drew has to climb over the top of the cage instead, and he is able to escape before Scarlett is able to open the door for Karrion Kross to escape through the door. So Drew McIntyre defeats Karrion Kross inside of the steel cage. Going into the matchup, it felt like it was going to be the blow off, but this finish doesn't feel like it's the end of the story, which is unfortunate because I'm over this feud. But I thought this was the best match that they had together.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I gave it 3.5. I actually agree with like how the finish was. It kind of does feel like it's still going to be ongoing. So I don't know what else you can do after you already had the strap match. You already have a steel cage match. Like, what can you guys do now?
You have a regular singles match. You work
and
backwards.
that's where I think they're gonna go with it. I'm just like, please don't. Like,
I really want to prove I'm better than you, so I have to prove I'm better than you in a wrestling match.
Yeah, in a regular wrestling
match.
But like, just like you said, you already said you're over it, you know, and that's really gonna make people be over it. Like, we already had two stipulations that really can go off as feud enders, you know, and blood feuds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now it just seems like they're gonna have to push the envelope for something, because if they have just a regular one-on-one regular wrestling match, it's what there's no peak of entrance there. Like, you guys already, like I said, you already had a strap match, you had a steel cage match, you know, with the shenanigans and all this stuff. Now you just have a regular match. It's just gonna be like, all right, like, nobody's really gonna care.
I gave the match 3.5 stars as well. I thought it, like I said, I thought it was the best match that they had together, physically intense, and it stood out on the show with the rest of the kind of matches that we saw throughout the night. So I did enjoy this, but I'm over this feud. So I hope the babyface winning means it's over now. You guys can both move on. Just go about your business. You don't need to talk to each other. Go separate ways. The Bloodline arrives with Roman Reigns. He basically won't talk about the idea of one lucky punch, and Paul Heyman mocks the idea too. Even with Shawn Michaels coaching Logan Paul about looking for the opening, he won't land that lucky punch on Roman Reigns, which we established early on he did. But let's move on to 6-man tag team action, as it was the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley versus the OC, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles Rhea Ripley with her hair like this, which is amazing. Keep this
Yeah.
look, saying
Yes.
that it's a homage to the late great Beth Phoenix. Great stuff. Great
Oh
stuff.
shit.
Great
Rolling in her grave.
rolling in her grave hearing this. Great stuff by her. The OC coming out to a pretty good reaction, but I would just say, Ness, this felt like a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour match on Raw. It was
Yes.
good, but it wasn't anything special. Didn't even feel like it should have been on the Crown Jewel card, which once again attests to my point that WWE didn't need to book this match now. You could have just let Carl Anderson lose the never openweight title on in Japan, and you could have done AJ Styles versus Finn Balor or something else here.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But yeah, it was good. Otherwise, the finish came when AJ Styles goes for the phenomenal forearm, and of course, the OC who said that Rhea Ripley is the X Factor. Rhea Ripley is a problem. We need something to offset Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was the reason why they lost, because she nails AJ Styles, taking him off the apron and landing his face into the apron, leading to Finn Balor hitting the shotgun dropkick and then the coup de grace for the win for the Judgment Day to continue their momentum. This match, though, like I said, nothing special. Felt like a TV match. I'm all for Judgment Day keeping their momentum, but the reason I went for the OC is that they have looked like absolute chumps eating shit every single week the last couple of weeks heading into this match, that they kind of needed the win a lot more than the OC. Than the Judgment Day. And then the fact on the go home, they literally said they had an issue and a problem, and then came here and didn't address the problem. Not only do they look like chumps, they look like fucking idiots.
Yeah.
The match was 3 stars, but
Yeah, I agree with that. 3 stars. But just like you said, it's how do you acknowledge you have a problem? Say you're going to take care of the problem and don't take care of the problem. I guess they were waiting to get back to the States to handle Rhea Ripley. But because, it doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, we know that Rhea's the X Factor. Let's handle that. And that's why I was going for the OC as well. Because I'm like, okay, they're going to have somebody to back them up to take out Rhea. They'll get their win because they've been getting their ass kicked for the last couple of weeks by the OC or by Judgment Day. None of that happened. And I'm actually going to go out of my way tomorrow to watch Monday Night Raw to see if what didn't happen on Saturday does happen Monday, because maybe they were saving it for that. But yeah, acknowledging that Rhea was going to be the X Factor and you guys had a quote unquote plan to have that taken out and it didn't even happen. You kind of deserve to lose. So I was
fucking idiots.
Yeah, you does look stupid. So yeah, I agree that Carl Anderson should have just went to New Japan and dropped the never openweight title the way he was supposed to.
Like we could have saved all of this, but hey, New Japan gets to have a Wrestle Kingdom that has WWE and AEW talent. So I guess that's the consolation prize for all of this mess. To answer you, my boy Blue here, did I miss the SP3 damage control brand? No, we ain't get there yet, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, we will though. We will get there.
Oh, yeah.
We also, should mention what John Elite said here. Michael Cole on commentary during the matchup, not only mentioning that, giving us basically a history rundown of the Bullet Club, saying that Finn Balor was the original leader of the Bullet Club, and then AJ Styles took over of the club, and Carl Anderson was one of the original members. I will specify, Bullet Club's whole thing was there was no leader. There was 4 founders, which was Balor, Fale, Tonga, and Carl Anderson. So just to specify that. But yeah, most people consider Finn Balor the leader of the Bullet Club. So that was big. And then even bigger was them mentioning that Carl Anderson is the current never open weight champion. What did you think about those little touches by Michael Cole?
Now this shows that there's a new regime, because if this was under Vince McMahon's watch, shit, Michael Cole would be somewhere asking for change on a quarter on the corner somewhere, and it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. So like it was nice to hear stuff like that, because we all know that there's a wrestling world. For whatever reason, WWE likes to think that they're inside a bubble and they don't connect or have to connect with the rest of the outside world that's into wrestling. And that's kind of hard to do when I want to say 2/3, probably even 3/4 of your rosters come from other promotions.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we know that
you're ignoring a whole history. Like,
exactly. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like stuff outside of WWE doesn't exist. But I'm actually glad that now I like to believe that they're in a space where they can acknowledge these things. And I'm pretty sure the fans will appreciate it too. Like, you guys, like I said, you guys think that your fans don't know anything outside of Monday and Fridays, and sometimes of whatever days that they'll have a show. But a good majority of your wrestling fans that are WWE fans know wrestling outside of WWE. So just having them be able to acknowledge that, it'll give their fans to be able to appreciate that. Oh, okay, some wrestling history, some wrestling knowledge. All right, cool, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm all for the Bullet Club, which of course, yes, we are members of.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all for us being mentioned on WWE television. That felt good. Carrion says this feud needs to be over. I mean, it's going to continue, obviously, because now the whole story is they need someone to offset Rhea Ripley. I hope we don't go weeks. I hope they give us that payoff on Monday's Raw, whether it be someone like Raquel Rodriguez, who's already on the roster, someone like Mia Yim, who supposedly is supposed to be coming in to WWE, would be a good option as well. So hopefully we get that payoff on Monday on Raw, though. Hope, fingers crossed. But we got to move on as we talk more about this show with the match that I was probably looking forward to the least on this card. We had Omos going one-on-one with Braun Strowman, the battle of the giant versus the monster. And Omos pretty much dominated this matchup. They did the big stare down. They did the test of strength with Omos powering Strowman down. He hits a running boot, just sends Strowman outside. Strowman comes back with some right hands, but Omos slams the big man without much trouble. Then he does it again for an arrogant 2 count. Strowman fights back. He knocks Omos to the outside, but he cuts off the Express on the floor, which was a nice little moment in this matchup. Then he gets back into the ring. He goes for his choke bomb, Omos, but Braun able to reverse it into a running power slam to get the win in just over 7 minutes. Strowman, the monster, overcomes the Nigerian giant, Omos. This was what it was, but honestly, to be honest, it was as good as it was going to be.
I agree with that, because
I gave it 2 stars. That's like 2 stars for this match is like 5 stars for any other match.
And each guy gets 1 star, so I can I can agree with that. I gave it 2 stars. It's funny because, like you said, we had the Brock match where Brock gets dominated the whole match. He wins. The Roman and Logan match, Logan has more of the offense. Roman wins. Braun hit one move, and it was over.
And it wasn't even his power bomb, which is his new finisher. It had to be the running power slam, because you can't expect Omos to tuck in.
Oh, hell no! That would have been a disaster.
Kevin Nash powerbomb Big Show.
Then broke his neck.
Also true. Also true. You know, when you make a valid point, you make a valid point. What? He said he broke his neck. That is true. I missed that part. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I thought this was fine for what it was. Bell says Strowman can carry a match. I was shocked. I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, what do you expect out of Omos? Like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's not this. I don't want to say it's not the same as actually working a match. It's like, dude's just, he has a slight bit of athleticism for his height, but I don't think we expected
It was
I don't know about you, Bell.
it was
I
better
know
than
we
the
didn't.
typical. It was better than the
Yeah.
typical Omos match.
Which was good because he actually had somebody of some stature, you know, Omos. And even though he towered over Braun as well, usually Omos's fucking opponents are like a couple feet shorter than
And he
him.
did a lot in this match. He
Yeah.
had to do most of the offense, and his trash talking was immaculate.
Yeah.
I will give him that. He has very good trash talk. Next was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most, as you had the Usos defend the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles nest against the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland. Of course, the Saudi fans were very happy to see the Usos because they were all feeling Usi tonight. And what we got was typical, very, very highly entertaining tag team matchup. Butch and Ridge Holland have a nice little chemistry they develop with each other, with Ridge kind of being the bruiser and using his strength, while Butch has more of like the high impact moves and hard hitting style. Jay and Jimmy dominated most of this match, getting the heat in the middle portion of it. The finish comes when the Brutes and Jimmy are over the barricade, and a kick to the head into Northern Grit for a 2 gives the Brawling Brutes a near fall. We get that nice little spot here with Ridge bodying both members of the Usos. Jimmy dived back in to break up the Northern Grit near fall, and then Holland is sent to the outside. In the ring, though, we have Jay and Butch are fighting on the top rope, and the Usos delivered an avalanche 1D to Butch to get the win and retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Just over 10 minutes, 35 seconds for this one. It was a very, very good matchup. I thought all 4 men worked really well with each other. I give it 3 3/4 stars. The Usos, once again, delivering, still undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Although I will say, they never gave me that one moment where they gave me a close near fall that made me believe the Brawling Brutes were going to win, because they kind of telegraphed the Usos defending here due to the New Day having a shot on Friday for the longest reign.
Yeah, I gave this 3 3/4 stars as well. I didn't think, just like you said, I advertised it, but going into it, I'm like, I don't know. Braun Bruce and even Ridge Holland, I gotta give Ridge Holland his props from where he was almost like a year ago, and you know everything he's been through, as far as like the Big E situation, he's improved immensely. And I believe being with Sheamus and Butch, those guys definitely went out of their way to help him get a little better, and it's been showing. Again, the match, this is actually one of the matches I was looking forward to on the card as well. It delivered. And I don't know. The Usos just take everybody out. So it's just like, I'm at a point where I'm just waiting to see how the match is going to, like how good it's going to be. Cause I already know the Usos are going to win. Like I haven't had a feeling of, oh, they could potentially beat the Usos. It's just more so like, all right, let's just see how this match is. Cause we know the Usos are going to win. And the match was good. 3 3/4 stars.
Yeah, I think like with both the Usos and Roman Reigns, we're kind of at that point where it's gonna be a while, or it has to be a certain person, certain challenger for us to think that the title reign is going to be over. I think after Clash at the Castle, for me, I don't think anyone's beating Roman Reigns until WrestleMania. After that's why I didn't take seriously the Logan Paul fans that we had in the chat saying that he had a chance. I'm like, you didn't have Drew McIntyre win in his home country to have him lose to Logan Paul the very next the next defense. No, that makes no sense. That wouldn't make sense. And with the Usos, I felt like the best chance was Street Profits back at SummerSlam, coming off of that great match that they had at Money in the Bank. And the match wasn't that good, and the Street Profits lost kind of decisively. So I'm not going to think anyone has a chance to beat the Usos unless it's maybe the Paul brothers or it's Sammy and KO.
Yeah, it has to be a new team because they're just running through like a revolving door. Like we beat you. Let's just start all over again. It's just like now they had to defend against the New Day. As great as those matches are, I'm kind of tired of seeing that shit because we've seen it so many times.
This is honestly the best scenario for them to run it back though, because of the title reign. That's the only reason that I accepted. I was over this after day one. I thought day one, I was like, all right, here we go. We're doing the Usos and New Day. I was one of those people. You could go back and watch all the True Hill Heats before or preview for day one. I was annoyed with the matchup. I was like at nauseum with how many times we've seen it. But this feels appropriate to do it here. So that's why I'm okay with it coming up on SmackDown, even though, you know, if you could work things out, you would have moved Crown Jewel to next Saturday and then do that match there. Like with 1 day left before the title reign, before they get the title reign. But that is besides the point. That's stuff that they can't control there. We got Bell who says Sammy and KO is beating the Usos at Mania, dude. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm here for it. Even though I do say if Jake Paul says he wants to wrestle, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, you know, scrap those plans. We're putting Paul Brothers versus Usos.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. That's just off of publicity alone. Like that's what they want, and it's Mania. That's exactly what they want. Although the Sammy and KO getting the tag team title reign, that will warm my heart. It's not what I want. It's more so about the eyes. I don't even know how many subscribers and followers these dudes got.
They got a bunch. Yeah, Logan Paul is legitimately the most famous person that works for WWE.
Yeah.
Like
literally.
Literally, he's the most famous person that works for WWE. So we talked about Logan Paul being injured, but like you said, it usually is about 6 months for that injury, which would bring him back in time for WrestleMania if he wanted to. So but we also got Romeo here who says, oh, I definitely remember SP3 being tired of New Day Usos. I was, but this seems like the most appropriate time to do it. So I'm here for it. But let's talk about a match that I'm going to have a lot to say about now. This is what the people have camped for, Ness. For me to talk about this damn match. Here we go. Raw Women's Championship up for grabs. Bianca Belair defending against Bayley. Bayley got the grand entrance, damage control in the sky. And what we got was these two women putting on a very, very, very good performance. These two ladies work extremely well with each other. And what has become a staple now of these Bayley stipulation matches is her inventive way she uses weapons and uses kind of the environment around her. We got some spots early on with like kendo sticks. She used a big swing, but the stick falls to the floor. Got a spot where she pulled out the ladder and then she tried to basically pin Bianca Belair underneath the steel steps with the ladder on top so she couldn't stand up. At one point, they were fighting up the ramp and Bayley looked like she tweaked her ankle, but she was just basically being a heel and kicks Belair in the face. Back in, Bayley gets a steel chair shot, only to have the chair thrown at her for a nasty crash. Bayley goes with the steps, and that's when she pinned Belair underneath them. The action really picked up when they got to the top of the ramp, and Bayley pulled out a box and throws Bianca Belair in it to try to get the 10 count that way. But Bianca Belair pops the case open, popping Bayley right in the mouth with it. Nice little shot there. And then she tries to throw the case at Bayley. Bayley then tries to get a golf cart and goes about 1 mile an hour as Bianca Belair is able to okie doke it out the way. She drop kicks Bayley. She fights Bayley on top of the golf cart. And then she basically said, Bayley, you went 1 mile an hour? I'm booking this shit. She put her foot down on the gas and started jetting. It almost looked like Bayley was gonna freaking fly off the top of the shit into the table. I would have preferred that. Like Bayley, like as they're going down the thing, tries to stand up, and then when they get down to the table, she just flips over herself. So it looks less contrived than what we eventually got. And she probably would have went through the table a lot better. But she does try. Belair pulls her off using her braid, pulls her off the golf cart, and Bayley barely touches the table, hitting the edge. And then Bianca has to pick her back up and powerbomb her through the table. man, there's some crazy bumps that Bayley was taking here. Back in the ring, Bianca goes for a 450 splash onto a pile of chairs with Bayley on top of it, but Bayley moves out the way. Belair is right back up, though. Bayley tries to set up an open chair, and Belair is able to hit the KOD on the open chair with Bayley's knee landing very badly. And then they get very creative here with Belair putting Bayley into a ladder, trapping the ladder underneath the top rope so Bayley can escape and get up from the 10 count to get the victory. Bianca Belair getting the win in 20 minutes, 44 seconds. The violence was good. The spots were inventive. I just wish that some of the spots were executed a little bit better. I'm all for the intelligent endings to these last man standing matches, but this felt too much like Batista getting his legs tied together, and Bayley looked like she just had to wait there to get to the 10 count because she looked like she could have easily got up in time. Like she just like it was. Now let me rant before I get your thoughts.
I'm waiting to hear the rant as well. More of it, more so.
Why did they bring Bayley back, Ness? Why? You remember? I watched it the other day, the SummerSlam Roundtable review. I was so happy. I was so excited. I thought the peak, the highlight of that whole damn show was Bayley coming back with Io Sky, with Dakota Kai. But Paul Lafette, Triple H, the Game, the Cerebral Assassin, the King of Kings, terrorizing Stephanie's bag holder, the guy who doesn't like you people, the leader of Evolution, the sidekick in DX, the leader of DX, the leader of the Authority, the CEO, the EVP of Talent Relations. He fucking sucks at booking a female stable. He needs to call up his best friend, Michael Hickenbottom, and say, hey, Michael, how did you book Toxic Attraction to be the best female stable that WWE has ever had? Oh, I don't know. I kind of had them win fucking matches and had the leader win a fucking title and not lose every single time to one person. Like, I understand. I was totally fine. Bianca Belair's title reign, I'm totally fine with it in a vacuum. I don't need it to basically ill affect other people, and it has ill affected Bayley's return. Bayley, who could have returned as a babyface because the fans really love her, you're kind of forcing their hand by making her a heel, even though she's really, really good at being a heel. But she's a better babyface. Sometimes you're a better babyface. I said the same thing with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch eventually became a great heel, but Becky Lynch is a better babyface. You learned your lesson there, but you didn't learn your lesson with Bayley, and then you blew your fucking load on 3 returns at SummerSlam in 1 to create this stable that you don't have a fucking clue what to do with. You don't have a fucking clue how to book a stable. A guy who's been in stables his whole damn career doesn't know how to book us. I never heard of that shit. Imagine if when Evolution got together, Triple H just lost the world title and kept losing against Goldberg or Chris Benoit. Imagine how that would have worked out for Evolution. Imagine if Evolution never had their moment at Armageddon 2003 when Randy Orton's the Intercontinental Champion, Batista and Ric Flair is the Tag Team Champion, and Triple H is the World Champion. It didn't matter what they did before or after, how they broke up, how Orton left the group, which that was an era, but anything that happened before or after, they had that moment. They were solidified as a stable that we would always remember. Imagine if the Shield, you never had the Shield have Dean Ambrose win the U.S. title and Reigns and Rollins win the tag team titles. Would all 3 of these guys be some of the best wrestlers in the world today? I don't know. Would they be at that same level if you didn't give them the opportunity to do that? You got Io Sky, who's been one of the best female wrestlers in the world for the past decade, and she comes to the main roster, and you don't have a clue what to do with her? Someone else who's naturally a babyface, you make her a fucking heel, and you don't know what to do with her. You put her in a tag team, and she can't even win tag team matches on her own. Dakota Kai, you bring her back to the company. You put her in a group. Obviously, this group was not planned from the beginning. If you could tell by your shitty ass fucking Paul. And here we are. Here we are 3 months later, 100 days into Damage Control. And Bayley, no one wants to see Bayley get another shot at this Raw Women's Championship. That's over. That's done with. Now you got to try to build them out as a tag team or have Io and Dakota turn on Bayley at this point. You have reached the point of no return. I have never seen it this fast. Even the Nexus had 2-month grace period before they started booking them very badly. Like, at least we had the build-up to SummerSlam. We ain't even get a build-up to this shit. We had 1 month of Damage Control looking good, looking strong, winning that Clash of the Castle. And then the very next show, they lost in the finals of the Women's Tag Team title tournament. It's just, why? Why, Paul? Why?
Yeah, I would like those questions to be answered.
I didn't even talk about the match. I liked the match. It was totally fine, but it's just like, at this point, Bianca Belair needs to be the champion until WrestleMania. And at this point, you could move Bayley to NXT or SmackDown. Another show at this point.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, like, what's the point? Honestly, like, just like I like that you said that Damage Control needs to turn on Bayley because they're champions. They're 2-time champions. What has Bayley done since she's been back? She's been losing. You know, they're her lackeys, but they're the ones that's going out there doing what needs to be done, actually winning their matches and bringing back championship gold. Now, going into this match, going into the show, actually, I thought it was going to be a cold culmination of Damage Control as a whole, all standing tall at the end of the night. Dakota and Io having the women's tag team titles, and Bayley getting the Raw Women's championship. One of those things happened. The one that I really expected to happen didn't. Again, I love Bianca Belair. She can be champ for as long as it doesn't really matter to me because she's a great talent, phenomenal individual, and I just love to see her that be in this position and get that, because there was a time where that wouldn't have happened, you know. But I'm glad it's happening. But are we going maybe down the path of a John Cena-ish title reign where she's just beating everybody, which once again, I don't really have too much of an issue with that. It just comes off like, what are you doing with the people that she's facing? Like you say, you just brought Bayley back from being gone for like a year and some change, coming back with a stable, basically coming back to make a statement. The only statement she's been making is, I'm a loser. That doesn't get me invested in winning this year. And I guess that's kind of what they want because she's a heel, but that doesn't help her as an individual overall. Because like now you're going to have to go with the story like, all right, you have Damage Control who are supposed to be the backup, and they're looking like the leads because they're winning. They got championship. They're doing what they got to do. What is Bayley going to do now? But I guess I got to sit and wait, see where it goes. I like the match as well. I gave it I give it 3 3/4. I did enjoy the match. I just didn't like that Bayley didn't win because what's the point? What's the point of her getting these title shots? Oh, she won the non-title match that gives you a title shot. I hate that shit.
They basically 50-50 booked this whole feud.
Yeah.
She wins the 6-woman tag and she pins Bianca. Then she loses the ladder match. She wins the non-title singles match. Then she loses at Crown Jewel. Like, it's like you 50-50 booked her now to where, yeah, she has no momentum. And it's just like frustrating. I'm such a big fan of Bayley. I've been a fan of Bayley since her time in NXT. I've been singing the praises of Io Shirai, Io Sky since before she came to WWE. When she came to the Mae Young Classic, I was so excited for her to be in WWE and work with all these women. Dakota Kai, I've always been a big fan of her since I discovered her in Progress. So you got to understand, It's nothing against Bianca Belair. I'm all for Bianca Belair getting this John Cena type push. I just didn't want it at the hindrance of a whole new stable. Like, literally, we have someone in the live chat, John Elite, who said, Undisputed Era being draped in gold. So Triple H has booked a stable before correctly. And you're telling me he couldn't do it again? We're telling me he nexus damage control.
It's because they're women. I'm just joking.
No, it's probably true though. He was like, I gave you a revolution. I'm not giving you a push. Oh my God.
But that's the thing. Like, how are we supposed to be invested in this? And it's the hot potato one too. Even with Damage Control winning the women's tag team titles, they just had them and then they lost them and then they got them back. Like, that doesn't really need to keep happening. This revolving door of the same thing over and over and over again. That doesn't make for compelling television that you said that you want for your product. It's not compelling. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm not compelled to enjoy the product. I'm annoyed. This match that in all intents and purposes, I would say I would argue that it's the best match on the show. I'm annoyed after it because of the booking going into it, not because of anything. In a vacuum, I would say this was one of the better women's matches of the year for WWE, but it's because of the booking of Damage Control and Bayley at this point that I'm frustrated coming out of it. I'm happy for Bianca Belair. I think she's going to have a huge matchup at WrestleMania, whether that's against Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley. The fact that you have more than one person that you can see her going against at that stage says enough about where we see Bianca Belair, where she has really kind of, solidified herself among the four horsewomen and Ronda Rousey as one of the top women's performers for WWE in not only the fans' eyes, but the WWE, the company's eyes.
Which is honestly kind of hard to do because outside of the four horsewomen, they really weren't giving too many people acknowledgement like that, aside from like the Oscars and Alexa Bliss. Ronda Rousey's a whole beast of her own. So of course she was going to get that acknowledgement, but it's actually good to see someone actually grind up and get that spot and then go out there and show why she deserves it and has been carrying the ball ever since she got it.
Yeah. We got Belle who says Rhea is gonna beat her at Mania. I think that sounds like a pretty good call. Goodfellas says Bianca versus Ronda Survivor Series. They have said that they're not doing the Raw versus SmackDown thing this year. So
yeah, I think the whole thing's with War Games, right?
Yeah, it's just like War Games is the hook.
All right, so this is where I see where this is going. This feud is definitely not over.
Oh no!
Whatever, and I can see Bayley getting the fucking pin.
Yeah,
they're War Games
because they're 50-50 booking this shit. Bayley and Damage Control are gonna win at War Games. It's probably gonna be Dakota, Io, Bayley, Nikki Cross. Maybe they bring in a new member for Damage Control. I would say like Tegan Knox, and that's the team. That's the 5-person team for the Damage Control team, and then they do Bianca, Bliss, Asuka, Candice, and maybe a returning Becky.
That works. Or not that I'm manifesting this, or maybe like Raquel and Aaliyah or something, just maybe some expendable team or like that. Because I have a feeling that if they do bring in somebody new, like that would have to be the ones that win. Or you're just gonna taint that person as well.
True.
So I don't know I don't know. Hey, Triple H, I'll leave that all to you. You can fuck up the women's division even more.
Kirby says every return really need video package because WWE fans don't watch NXT. That's a good point. And I would just make the argument overall. Triple H hasn't done very good with these people that he's had returned. They either just feel like another person on the roster that's not special anymore, or their Damage Control. Like that's like, it seems the majority. I would say the exceptions to that rule would be Braun Strowman and Johnny Gargano, because Johnny Gargano they are using all over Monday Night Raw right now, so at least he's getting somewhat of a push. But as far as like the returning people, everybody else just feels like another person on the roster. Unfortunate. Curvin, we got Bell here. He says they're still doing the Survivor Series tag matches though. I think that's why I think Judgment Day and the OC is continuing. Also, I think Bailey could call her bestie to help at War Games. That's true. Could have Sasha involved in the War Games matchup there. Curvin says Damage Control, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Raquel, and Candice.
I can see that.
I can see that as well. I love that as well. So, good stuff there. But we got two more things to talk about from this show, Nets. First, it was Bray Wyatt. He came out for a promo segment that was advertised beforehand. Wyatt talks about how he made a monster of himself and wore his mask with pride, talking about the Fiend character. Bray says he found himself on an island of loneliness as the monster destroyed him. There he sat, and with no one to love him, and nowhere to run. At this point, the fans were like, "We love you." Bray responded to them and said, "No one loves him, but they love the what they think he is, the image of him. But now he needs to write a new ending to his story." At this point, as Bray was speaking, we got the Wyatt logo on the screen, and of course Uncle Howdy popped up, and with Bray's voice talking about why someone would wear a mask. Howdy asked if the people would still love Bray if they knew who he really was. Bray will go too far and it will feel so good, and if he's scared about the consequences afterward, just a simple solution to that: just don't take off the mask. Tell him he's wrong. I thought this was cool. It was interesting, intriguing, but it advanced absolutely nothing.
Honestly, so I haven't really been keeping up with the Bray stuff because I haven't been watching SmackDown. So I'm watching it. I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't really get the whole Uncle Howdy thing. I did what I really did like about his promo. You know, everybody's saying, "Oh, we love you, love you," and he's like, "You don't love me. You don't love the idea of me." I'm like, shit. That was a nice way to, get them to shut up, and they did. They did. I'm like, oh, that was great. But I just gotta see more. I'm hyped that he's back in WWE. But it just seems like every week all he's doing is just coming out, giving a vague promo, and it's just like it doesn't seem like anything different from how Vince was booking him at one point.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's back, and I have hope that it's going to get better because that definitely has the potential to get better. But just my personal feelings, I don't see the masked appeal that a lot of the wrestling community does just currently right now. I don't doubt it because it's Bray overall, but just like at the moment in time, I need to see more. Like, where is this going?
Because you're a wrestling guy, Ness, and you're just thinking in the back of your head, okay, this is all fine and dandy, but what happens when the bell rings?
Yeah, and we know that, he's not the greatest in the ring, but I can look past that for some people. And Bray's one of the guys that I'll look past that for, but it's just like they're really dragging out the whole whatever the story is. We heard so many different theories of the Wyatt Six. Oh no, it's going to have 6 people in the group. Oh no, he's just going to have 6 different personalities. Like, stop dragging me along. Let's just get this over. Let's get it going. Let's go. Let's see what goes on. Because now, like, where's he going to go for this? Is he going to go after? He's going to go after Roman? Maybe. Like, what is his motive? What is Bray's motive? Me personally, right now, I think it's just like him trying to find himself, which is fine, but it's also wrestling. Like, you can't just wrestle yourself. You have to have somebody. You have to have an adversary. So, who is his adversary? What is he going on? What is his motivation to want to come back and be in the wrestling ring? I just haven't seen anything along those lines to push that idea. But again, I'm open to this. I'm not stuff like having Damage Control, the way they've been booked. I'm not open to that shit. I don't want no more of that at all. But to see where this story goes with Bray, I'm open to like just go along for the ride, as impatient as I am to see where it leads.
Yeah, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and to go along on the journey, but I was expecting a little bit more because it
Yeah,
was a premium live event. I thought we would get something like maybe Uncle Howdy just coming out. So we
yeah,
know that Uncle Howdy is a different person, that it's not just another person in Bray's head, which the voice and everything sounds like it's just Bray as another character. So I would have liked something like that, but I'm willing to give this the benefit of the doubt, see how they draw this out. But we are getting to the point of, are they dragging it out? Is this slow burn a little too slow? So
yeah.
that's the only thing. But that is the final segment that we need to cover. If you're just joining us or joining us late, we did go over Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns, the main event of Crown Jewel. We talked in depth about Logan Paul's performance, as well as his injury coming out of Crown Jewel and what that means as far as maybe potentially him not main eventing of WrestleMania, like our good friend Brett Thomas said at the beginning of the show. But we will talk more about that in the next streams that we do over the next couple of days. But the final portion of this show is, of course, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did we give the show? Our match of the night, MVP and LVP. If you're still with us on demand, remember to sound off in the live chat. We want to hear from you. What was your match of the night, MVP, LVP for WWE Crown Jewel 2022? Out of 10, what did you give the show? And whether you gave it a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. But me and Ness first, let's put our thumbs in the middle for WWE Crown Jewel 2022. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from me and Ness. Out of 10, what did you give the show, Ness?
I gave it a 7. Off the watch along, because there were some things that rubbed me wrong when I first saw it. I'm like, oh, this. I gave it a 6, but I was like, I kept my thumb in the middle because of how I felt emotionally. But then I watched it again and I'm like, you know what? Some of this stuff makes sense. I got to get over that. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
I actually 100% agree with you. I also gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a really good show. Really great main event. Really good last woman standing match. A really good tag team title matchup. Some of the stuff early on I wasn't too into. I wasn't too into the finish for Brock and Lashley. I did enjoy the women's tag team titles. I don't enjoy the hot potato of the titles at this point. I enjoyed the steel cage match. I thought the 6-man tag was just a TV matchup, and I wish I could forget Omos versus Braun Strowman, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But we do have Sophie says, I watch it again. I said, not bad. So there you go. What was your match of the night for WWE Crown Jewel?
Main event for sure.
This visual, great.
Bro, he looks like that's if he had blue instead of yellow, I would have thought that was AJ Styles. Or blue or red, I would have thought that's AJ Styles. No lie.
Facts. Yes, 100%. Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul is honestly, in my eyes, I say by far the main. I even go as far. I'm gonna go and improve upon my rating before. I think I gave it 4.25. I'll go 4.5 stars. This man, third match, 4.5 stars. That's what I give it, because I thought it was amazing performance by Logan Paul, and like I said, Roman Reigns selling. This was him with a selling masterpiece. This man is very good at selling, and he showed it here, and he put over Logan Paul in the process. So I got to go with them as the match of the night. MVP for the show, Ness.
I'm gonna have co-MVPs. One's an obvious choice in Logan Paul and his performance, and this is also a little like just because I just thought it was nice. Whoever was controlling those drones, because those visuals before the matches, like those were a very nice touch to the entrances, especially for the main event. The faces of Roman and Logan Paul. That
was dope. That was so dope.
That shit was dope. So I got to give them some props for that.
Yes. Romeo saying Logan in War Games would have been fun. I mean, would have, could have, should have, but he's injured now. It ain't happening. MVP, I gotta go with Logan Paul. I'm gonna go with co-MVP Logan Paul and Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Anytime she has this dominant win after I picked against her, I gotta show her respect and give her the MVP. And of course, the LVP. Fucking Bailey. Oh, Bailey. Oh, I want you to stop being Barry.
Yeah, man. Your backup has tag team gold and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing.
They didn't even come out to help you.
At all. Yeah, that too. So they don't even respect you.
Oh
Sheesh.
man, they ain't even come out to help you. I just realized I didn't even bring that up before, but they ain't even come out to help you. Damn.
And honestly, I thought that was going to be a reason why she was going to win, that they'd come out and help, but I guess not. They were, too much going on from that tag match.
Left her high and dry, yo. How you do? How you do your girl like that? Oh, Bailey. Ooh, ah. Oh, poor Bailey.
Terrible.
Poor Bailey. But yeah, Bailey is definitely the LVP. But that is our final picks for this show. Ness, want to thank you for joining me for our WWE Crown Jewel 2022 Roundtable review. Let the people know where they can find you on social media and when you'll be back here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. And I'm always here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel every Tuesday for NX3. Myself, Chris G, and Romeo, we go live watching NXT. On Thursdays, once again, with Chris G for Blood Impact, where we go live watching Impact Wrestling. I have a part-time schedule on Elite Heat, so you'll see me this week on another episode coming up this Wednesday when we watch Dynamite. We go live. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm going to try to pop up on a lot of shows, see what I can do. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm here. Put in some work. If I'm not working at my real job, I'm here working at the job I actually like.
There you go. Ness is helping out. He's going to be doing more here this week. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. You had the True Hill Heat prediction championship. They had the predictions for Crown Jewel that was up earlier this week that you could pick over there. And we'll have more exclusive content over there. Some New Japan stuff coming up this week, as well as on twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Wrestling. Dark Power is usually every week. This week it was preempted, but it'll be back this coming week. And ProWrestlingTees.com/True Heels. But you'll see me and Ness once again tomorrow, I believe. We will be going live for our NJPW Battle Autumn 2022 Roundtable review, talking about the show from New Japan Pro Wrestling from Osaka, with the main event of Will Ospreay going one-on-one with Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. We'll be talking about that, FTR's first time in Japan, and the re-debut of Shota Umino tomorrow right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. So for Ness, it is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE Crown Jewel 2022 Roundtable Review.